Well, former Governor Sir Eric Neil's Road Safety Advisory Council held the first of 18 public forums this week to develop a 10-year road safety strategy for the state. It's called Headed for Zero and it's looking for new ideas. One being put forward is making driver safety a compulsory part of the curriculum in schools. And while that's being discussed, the Service Club Rotary has been rolling out its own voluntary program to teach secondary school students how to drive and survive. It started on the East Coast and now it's spread to South Australia.
For some reason, the message just doesn't seem to be getting through. It's a horrific scene, and unfortunately this is going to be a Father's Day that some families will remember for all the wrong reasons.
A 16-year-old lay dead. His 4 young friends were taken to hospital. It happened at Maslins Beach at 4:20 on Father's Day morning. It was yet another reminder that the road toll may have fallen over the last 30 years, but one fatally frustrating figure hasn't changed. Young people are still on average twice as likely to be killed in a car crash. And that's even after the introduction of drug testing, anti-hoon driving laws and a range of tougher rules for P-platers. So people are now looking at education as the last hope for changing behaviour.
Well, it's all about attitude and awareness. We will be attending 6 sessions during the day. Each session is about half an hour.
This program at Flinders University, organised by the Edwardstown Rotary Club, is called RIDER. It stands for Road Safe Youth Driver Awareness. It's a day away from school, but what these 150 students learn here could be the most important lesson of their lives.
Has anyone ever accidentally walked out in front of a car? Accidentally? Okay, good volunteer, thank you.
First up, they get turns watching and travelling in a car, accelerating and then braking at 25 kilometres an hour, 40, 50 and 60. It's a practical way to test their ability to judge speeds and stopping distances.
I know that because we've done these presentations before and I've talked to some of the students sort of sometime, even sort of like a year or so afterwards, that they do remember it. So the message went with them.
One of the most powerful messages is the difference between travelling at 50 k's an hour and 60. To show this, they accelerate to 60 kilometres an hour, brake and hit a couple of cardboard boxes. Boxes that have just replaced 2 students.
Until you actually see a demonstration like this, I don't think you can fully understand how much of a difference it can make and how seriously it can hurt someone from just creeping over the speed limit. I've been in a car when someone's creeped over the speed limit, but I have never been in a serious accident, fortunately, so that's always good.
At 60 k's an hour, you're going to travel 25 metres in 1.5 seconds.
It's a mixture of walk and talk, listening and learning.
This is a 3-second space from that car.
There's a lot to take in the half-hour session, but the messages are simple and clear.
Just travelling that bit extra speed can definitely cause an accident, and it makes you think about those 50 zones and why they're there.
Average driver in Adelaide drives at less than half the space they can stop in if the guy in front stops dead.
It made me realise just even 1 or 2 k's would make so much of a difference, and yeah, it's very dangerous.
And you've got your licence?
Yeah, I've got my Ps.
Next up, the students watch a short film. It's a parents and P-platers' nightmare. The true story of an 18-year-old who rolls her car and kills herself and her girlfriend. She wasn't speeding and alcohol wasn't involved.
There are so many reminders. Everywhere you go, there are reminders of things she did, things she liked to do.
And when the lights come back up, it's clear the story has moved some of the teenagers to tears. It's a perfect time for Senior Constable Pete Tellum to step in and tell the youngsters how he fell asleep at the wheel when he was a teenager. No drugs, no alcohol, he was just too tired to drive.
And I put that car straight into a Stobie pole. There was no one else involved, there was no one else in my car, but that's what I did. And I spent 6 months at Julia Farr Centre, which, if you don't know, is the hospital, or was the hospital for brain injuries and brain injured people. And it affects everyone. I know. The policeman that knocked on my mum and dad's door rushed them into the RAR, or the Royal Adelaide, and they were told not to expect good. I was actually given the last rites in casualty, and I guess a few things went my way. So here I am today.
I was considered a potential Olympic player for either Sydney 2000 or Athens 2004. I loved playing volleyball.
The next speaker shows what can happen if you aren't quite so lucky when you survive a crash. Eli Mern is now 30. He was 2 metres tall when he was a teenager and talent spotted by the Australian Institute of Sport. But then he discovered drugs.
Smoking marijuana became a daily ritual before, during and after school.
He tells the students how his life ran off the rails and that his car ran off the road. And he hopes they can get some gain from his personal pain.
Traumatic brain injury is permanent. It doesn't end. A 24-year-old guy does not want to have other people feed him, wash him, shave him, or wipe his ass.
I'm into sports. I play football, I run triathlons, I play tennis. I do all that stuff. It's, yeah.
So this had a special meaning to it?
Yeah. I know what was going for him. I know how much he would have loved sport.
Skid, bang, tree, brain injury. I've seen photos of the car, and it's hard to believe that anyone lived through it. I don't see how the girl was not hurt or killed.
You don't come along to stuff like this and expect to get that much out of it, but yeah, it's been really good.
The government's already made the laws. The 2 students that came up to me after the speech. They're 2 lives that I may well have saved. And like I said to them, to spread the word, the ripple effect can work in the opposite. Why not change the ripple effect into a good thing?
You can see some of the faces that you do hit home in a big way. And only if we get through to one of them, then it is worthwhile.